Star Warriors, what's going on? It's Star Wars News Net Live. Super exciting. Super exciting. I am your host, Paul Herman. I am with the bearded wonder, Brian Miller. Brian, how are you, sir?
What's going on, guys?
Going on. Awesome. Well, if you guys are tuning in, it's been a while. Life's gotten crazy for me. I'm not going to lie. Life is nuts. And I appreciate everyone being patient. We're going to do kind of an impromptu, live, it's the live setting. I want to get what you guys all feel. If you're watching, I want you to hit the like button. I want you to subscribe. If you're watching via Twitter or Facebook and you want to get involved in the conversation, I want you to hop over to the live stream on YouTube and please talk to us there, because I don't have enough attention to get to Twitter and Facebook. I don't think Brian does either. Brian, I'm not sure about you though.
I don't get on Twitter a whole lot.
There you go.
About getting on Twitter.
So we're going to be asking you a lot of questions about the Mandalorian this week. We're going to ask you a lot of questions about just kind of some general news stuff that's been kind of filtering out there the last couple of weeks. And if you're wondering about the show a little bit, we're tentatively going to Mondays right now. Like I said, my life's getting nutty, so Mondays are looking like it. And we're going to attempt to do every other week. Starting next week, it's not this week, it's kind of impromptu. Next week, we're going to start, but I'm probably not going to make it. So Brian will be better by himself. But Brian will hold on the fort, hang out, get your guys', because basically it's a Mandalorian season episode 1. If I can make it, I'll try. But if I can't, oh well. But either way, thank you for joining us. We want you involved in the chat. So if you're watching, go ahead and please leave a comment. Ask us questions. We're going to ask you questions. I want to know, are you guys dying to see the Mandalorian season 3, episode 1 on Wednesday? Are you going to stay up for it? I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't like wasting my sleep on something like this. I like to actually enjoy something. So I'll even wait a couple days to kind of I'll delete social medias. I'll stay away, because I did that for the season 1, episode 1. It's Mandalorian. I sit off Twitter. I sit off YouTube. I sit off everything, my friend. Mm-hmm. Everything. I watch Mandalorian season 1, episode 1 completely cold. And obviously we see Grogu at the very end, my mind just blew. And then as soon as I popped into YouTube, I just see little baby Yoda's just images everywhere, and I like to avoid that. I like to, and I don't want to have pressure to watch something. I'm also not going to people talking about it either. So, I usually stay away. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. I'll try to make it Monday, but no promises. But either way, Brian, what's your level of just anticipation for Mandalorian season 1 or season 3, episode 1?
Bring it on. Bring it on. You're talking about the show that kicked off the whole Star Wars television thing, right? And so I watched Mando the absolute first night. I couldn't wait. I was so excited. And coming into season 3, I'm, because of things that have happened in season 2, things that were said and things that were set up for, maybe the Ahsoka series later on, maybe later on in this season, who knows? But I'm really stoked for this season. We get to see Mandalore. We're going back to Mandalore, dude. It's going to be awesome. Live action.
Yeah. And I think, to me, I've been rewatching the episode with my daughter. And she's almost 3, so she doesn't really know what the heck's going on, but she understands enough to where it's really rad to sit down with her and watch these episodes. We're watching the Mandalorian, the Jedi episode, which I think is just chef's kiss. I mean, I love that episode so much.
Yes.
When Ahsoka, Grogu, and Mando are talking, she goes, "That's Grogu's mommy and daddy." I was like, "Oh, that's kind of you're half right."
Not quite,
but it was really cute. Not quite, but she loves Ahsoka. She loves her. Excuse me. She's got this little purple Cabbage Patch doll that will she walks around and calls it Ahsoka Tano. It's super awesome. So anyway, out there, I'm curious if you guys, again, what's your excitement level? Join the live stream. You can hit like, subscribe, all that stuff. But you know what? I mostly want you to go in and join the chat with us. I want to know what you all think, because I want to know what you, the viewers, who are going to watch it, are you going to waste it all on stay up all night tomorrow to watch it? Or Brian, when are you going to watch it, you think?
No, I'm going to wait until that evening, because I can't stay up. I can't. I just even like Last of Us, we haven't even, Kirsty and I haven't even watched the newest episode of Last of Us yet. We haven't had a chance to. But it's one of those things that I'll watch it the next night. It's with Bad Batch. Usually we watch Bad Batch Wednesday evenings. Once I get home from work, everything gets kind of settled down. We turn on Bad Batch and watch it. So it'll be the same thing with Mando. We'll be watching Bad Batch and Mando back to back.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that I haven't watched Last of Us, but Mando, it's like I hate Wednesday drops. I hate them. I freaking hate them. I'm not sure if I'm alone on this. And please join the live stream, y'all. If you're watching on via Twitter, Facebook, get on the YouTube live stream. I want to ask you questions because this is important. God dang it. I want to know if you guys hate Wednesdays as much as I do. Obviously, there's some kind of advantage with doing this on Wednesdays, apparently. But I got to tell you, when Mando was dropping on Fridays, it was magical for me because we get pizza. I'd be like, this is great. And it just, Wednesdays doesn't feel right to me. It just doesn't. I hate it. So people watching, if we're watching live, get in here, please. Ask all, do you guys hate Wednesdays as much as I do? Do you hate Wednesdays, Brian?
No, I think it's fine. Honestly, I'm not picky. I'm not picky. The fact that I lived through the dark ages where we were getting zero Star Wars content. I survived the dark ages. And so the fact that we're getting it at all, I don't care if it's Sunday night, Monday, I don't care. I doesn't matter to me. I don't care if if it was mandatory to watch it at 3 a.m. If you were going to miss it, I'd stay up to watch it. Luckily, that's not the case. But yeah, the fact that we're even getting Star Wars stuff, I don't care what night it is. I really don't.
I listen. I used to not think that, but I just Fridays is just so much nicer for me. It's so much nicer.
Unwind for the weekend, kind of. You get
exactly.
Some Star Wars, yeah.
Oh God, so great. So anyone again,
just don't watch it until Friday. Then just don't watch it until Friday night.
I used to actually do that with Book of Boba Fett because that was when I first tried it, and it was hard. It's just hard to wait that long to stay off the internet for that long, especially with Mando. Yeah. But you know what? I may still do it because next week is gonna be it's gonna be insane for me. I'm sure we'll do it. So people who are watching right now via YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, I don't care. Get in here, tell me, do you hate Fridays? Do you hate Wednesdays? Because I hate Wednesdays. Get rid of them. Go back to Fridays. For Mando season 3, there's a couple different things I wanted to kind of bring up, I guess. I don't know. After watching the last couple episodes, it's like, I gotta tell you, I'm curious as we're walking into season 3, what is your favorite Mandalorian episode besides the last episode of season 2?
Can't say that.
Yes, I can. I'm saying
anything,
it right now.
Honest to God, anything in season 2, anything. Whether it be the Ahsoka episodes, whether it be Cobb Vanth coming in with Boba Fett's armor, whether it be the Boba Fett stuff, whether it be, Fennec popping back up, the Dark Troopers. Holy crap, the Dark Troopers. All the things that were just bad it's the Dark Troopers. And you said I couldn't talk about the finale, but just the fact that we got the live action Luke Skywalker taking down Dark Troopers. That is just, I never thought that I would ever get to see that. Never.
Okay. So here's my question to you then. You have to tell me, gun to your head, okay? You have to pick one episode 2, but it's not the season finale.
Not the finale?
Not the finale. One other. People in the chat, you too. Tell me, what's your favorite episode of The Mandalorian? Tell me now, please. It's the show's for you, not for me. I can talk about Star Wars all night to nobody. I don't care. But get in here. I want to hear what you guys all think. I want to know what you think about Mandalorian season 2 or season 1. What's your favorite episode minus the season finale? Season 2. I can't too easy.
I'm going to say the Marshal. The Marshal was great. That was the one with the crate dragon. When they were all fighting the crate dragon, Boba Fett popped up at the very end is like the holy crap. That I knew that guy. So yeah, I absolutely loved it. It was a nice tie-in with the Aftermath novels. I'm really big on all the canon, all the novels, everything like that. So to see a tie-in like that with Cobb Vanth, the Marshal, by far my favorite episode. Now, if we're not counting the season 2 finale, it's the Marshal.
So Sean, I know you're watching. I want you to tell me what your favorite episode of Mandalorian season 2, 1, whatever. But it can't be the season finale. It cannot be the season finale of season 2. It's too easy, y'all. It's too easy. What we got here? Ooh, all right.
The Sin was a good one. Yeah.
All right. That's a good, yeah. You know, for me, I think it's tough because there's so many I love, but right now, if I had to pick, see what's my favorite or what I think is the best written episode, it's like they're always gonna be a little bit different, right? Like your heart's not always gonna love, like, well, at least for me, it's not necessarily gonna love like the best quality, maybe, like, because sometimes imperfections are good, right? That's just, you know, I would say right now, favorite oh god, this is a lot tougher than I realized.
It's hard.
Marshall's
yeah,
good one. Marshall's a good one. Marshall's a good one, man. I'm gonna say probably The Believer, which I was just rewatching today with my daughter. That episode is just The Believer is just ridiculous. And you know, and kind of piggybacking off of that, and again, people, I want you to know what your favorite episode of Mandalorian, the whole series, minus you cannot use season finale of season 2. Tell me.
The Tragedy.
I got some good ones. Too. Yes, it was.
The Tragedy was.
Sean, you're there. On, chime in, man. Don't leave out on me. I want to know what you think. Tell me, what is your favorite? And the sin now is a sin. That's the one where he drops Grogu off, correct?
That's the one where he takes Grogu back.
Yeah. That's a great,
really good episode.
I mean, I listen. Yeah. If it was easy, I wouldn't do it. Come on, I'm telling you all. I would say the Marshall, or not the Marshall. The Marshall's up there though. I mean, but before season 2, my favorite episode was a Rick Fuyama episode N, which was episode 2. And I thought the child's a great. If you look at an episode where it's hardly any dialogues in it, and it's all just visual storytelling mainly.
Was that the one with the sandcrawler?
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, that was a good one. When he's doing the one-man assault on the sandcrawler, that's a good one.
Because it does feel like
Star Wars.
Someone's having fun with the Star Wars, but like knows how to play with it, right? And I know Jon Favreau wrote it, but Rick Fuyama, I guess, if you guys don't know me, I can't pronounce anything, so bear with me. But he directs the hell out of that. And honestly, I think the Suicide Squad episode, I forgot the name of the episode, but that's a great one too. He co-wrote it with Chris Yost, I think his name is. He wrote Rebels episodes, also a good comic writer as well. Also co-wrote the Ragnarok with Taika Waititi. And another great episode. That was a great episode too. I mean, Mandalorian is really good. It's a good, well written.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go off script a little bit. I'm curious. This is actually good. This is why I like this. I do in the show in the first place. Because people, I see a lot of people rip on the quality of Boba Fett. Now listen, I know Boba Fett quality from I think the special effects and the sets wasn't always great. I think it was inconsistent, but people like track on the writing itself a lot. I don't see it the same as everyone else. Like I don't think it's like everyone thinks it's a huge step down from Mandalorian from a script standpoint, not from a visual standpoint.
I will give you one word: Vespas.
Go ahead. Listen, I said visuals. I'm talking about script. I'm talking about story. Where is it that much of a drop off? People in the chat tell me.
Because if the show, the reason Book of Boba Fett is so low for me. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it, but when it's what was it, 7 episodes or 8?
It's always 8. Right?
It was 8 episodes. So when 1/4 of the series doesn't even have the title character in it, and it has to go off and tell a spin-off story for the series that is actually doing really well and is really popular, that says something about the series. I get why they did it, but why couldn't they have released that story of Mando and Grogu being reunited as like a Star Wars special presentation or like a prelude to season 3? You know what I mean? And then you could have focused more on the whole Boba Fett thing. I get that criticism. I freaking love the episode. I mean, best episodes of that series.
Well, yeah, but I think the last episode, barring a few cheesy moments here or there, is pretty good. it's pretty good. Like, I mean, like it's got action. It's the Star Wars greatest hits, man. I mean, like it's, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what you're talking about. Brave New Stalker. My eyes are bad. I can't. Is that Stacker? I can't tell. Stacker. I'm not sure. It's Bravery Stacker. I'm not sure what you're referring to. I apologize. Word. Now this is what I'm talking about. People like will rip on Boba Fett, and I'm like, listen, it's not. I'm not saying it's like creme de la creme. It's Mandalorian season 2, because Mandalorian season 2 is still the GOAT in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
maybe of like anything Star Wars in the last like maybe ever. To be honest, I mean, I put up the original trilogy, and I mean that's sacrilegious. I'm just gonna say right now, I put that up against anything. But Boba Fett season 2 or season 1 is pretty awesome. Like it's got some good stuff. It's inconsistent looks wise. I think it definitely rushed production in ways.
Yeah.
But I would say the Tusken episode is maybe one of the best episodes of Star Wars television ever.
Let me ask you this. So do you think the series would still have worked, or do you think it would have worked better, worse? What do you think, had they not done the flashback thing with Boba Fett and instead told the story linear? So you see him crawling out of the Sarlacc pit, you see him get picked up by the Tuskens, you see that whole storyline, and then you see him go to take down the revenge on the Tuskens and everything like that. Do you think it might have hit a little different?
I think you're not wrong. I don't think you're wrong at all. I would have probably preferred that personally, but the way they built it, well, actually, I think you're right. I think it would probably been a smarter way to go. Yeah. But I mean, hindsight's 2020, right? I can't go back, but despite like some of the obvious problems that it had, I still really enjoyed it. Like I'll be honest, and maybe I'm an optimist, and people who watch the show probably know I'm an optimist too much. Maybe, I don't know, except when you call Last Jedi, that's a different story. But there was a little parting shot there for y'all. But in seriousness, I don't see the hate as much as other people. It's again, I see the flaws, but I don't see the hate. I don't like people like, this is complete crap. I'm like, oh, I watched way worse than this. Way worse. This is like solid. It's not beautiful. I mean, Mandalorian is both seasons I think are better, but Jon Favreau I think wrote the whole season himself, and I don't know. I think what Mandalorian benefits from is more creative voices in the script writing. Like you have a Dave Filoni. I think Dave did write the episode. I take it back, but
Dave wrote the Ahsoka episode.
Yeah. Well, no, he also wrote the. Yeah, he also wrote the Book of Boba Fett episode with what he introduced.
Cad with Luke and Ahsoka and all of them in it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I listen. But B Skywalker here asks about Cad Bane. First of all, Cad Bane ain't dead in my opinion.
No way. No,
that's just
there's no way.
Yeah, he ain't dead. I mean, there's no way. Thank you. And so, Brian, what'd you think of?
Fennec Shand can come back from taking a blaster shot in the gut. Cad Bane can come back from getting just stabbed in the gut with a gaffy stick.
Yeah, that's true. All right.
And he had a little light beeping on him, so he's not.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I like the visual like storytelling of killing the old enemy with his newfound weapon. Like I know it's like over the top a little bit, but I like that cue. I like that thematic like ending. It's appropriate for Star Wars because that's what Star Wars is. It's taking these old myths and these old themes and these old ways of storytelling that are traditional and maybe are too on the nose or over the top and goes well with them. So what do you think of Cad Bane overall?
I liked Cad Bane. I was really hoping to God he was going to pop up in this series. We all kind of figured he was going to. That's true. And when you see that first shot in the distance of him walking into the village, it gave me chills. It really did. I was like, oh my God, please don't mess them up. And they didn't. I think they did him justice. Making that transition from animation to live action is never easy to do. You're not going to please everybody, but I was very happy with it. I thought it was incredibly well done. And the voice was perfect. He was perfect. And they brought him. I wasn't sure if maybe he was only going to be in one episode as a cameo. No, he ended up being in 2. Loved it, and he's going to pop up again somewhere down the road. I guarantee it.
Yeah, for me, I thought he looked good. People like, I'm not sure if they people post pandemic or in the pandemic were just ready to like destroy everything. I don't know, man. Like
Star Wars fans, dude.
Well,
It's
that's true.
Bunch. You guys,
yeah, but
you know we all try to be positive. Don't take it the wrong way. We're a volatile.
Yeah, no. Hey, look, I can be negative. We all can be negative. Like, listen, like I want to find the peace, and that's the whole point of the show, right? The whole point of the show is to bring people together through our differences, through our frustrations of certain ways of storytelling, and trying to find common ground and move and come together and move on and have fun and try to figure out what we love and why we love this thing called Star Wars so much. And I think Sean brings up a good point. And is that the flashbacks and the pace was a little slow at times, because sometimes it wasn't. Like I think you brought the Tuscan episode. That's a great, or some. I'm sorry, someone else, Lobos,
yeah.
Lords of Hammers. Did the episode I thought was phenomenally written and paced and everything. And I thought other episodes were pretty solid too. The first episode was fine. It's that third episode's a little wonky for me. I think the third and fourth gets a little That to me is where and the production doesn't look as good. That's where I think it really starts to kind of go downhill, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's one shot in there where it's like a shot looking straight down on the city. You can see the speeder going around a block, and there's no roof on the building. You can see the 2x4s holding the set wall up. Like, it's, I don't know. And then look, the biggest problems I had with Book of Boba Fett is I don't remember which episode it was, but he's telling Fennec Shan, aren't you tired of working for idiots that are just trying to get you killed all the time? Come work for me. And then 5 minutes later, he's trying to drive Slave One down into the throat of the Sarlacc and trying to get him killed.
But
you know what I mean?
Well, no, hold on. No, I see. This is where our interpretation. This is where our interpretations of character motivations and their knowledge and everything. I took it as Boba Fett knew he wasn't going to die. Like he knew, like, listen, it's Boba Fett. Right? Like what? Like he's been through the ringer, literally the ringer, and I feel like he would know that he just survived. He wouldn't put himself immediately in death just to like destroy the Sarlacc pit. So I didn't take that the same way in my interpretation of the story and the character. I'm not sure if everyone else would agree with that, but that's what I would say. So does Boba Fett have a death wish against the Sarlacc pit? Tell us in the live chat. If you're watching via my Facebook or Twitter, join the YouTube live stream, hit like, subscribe, all that jazz. Again, next week we are going to be trying to come back for live chat, kind of review for the Mandalorian. I may or may not make it. We'll see. Brian at least will be here, and from there we'll start an every other week kind of rotation starting on Mondays and see how that goes, and we'll see what we can do. But yeah, like Boba Fett, Book of Boba Fett. I'm really glad. This is why I like this show so much sometimes, Brian. Is we can just kind of go off in these little tangents. I want to know what people are, because they're driving the chat. They're giving me questions about everything. This is what it's all about. Because what if you, in all seriousness, y'all, do you think a Book of Boba Fett was yes, the Vespas were over the top. It was not great. The Vespas are not great. I like the Vespas, but they need to be dirtier. I think it would be the biggest problem.
Waiting for the electric guitar solo to come in.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Here's my question. Would the speeders look better if they were dirtier, or are they just the fact they exist at all?
It wasn't just the speeders. It was the way that entire chase scene was recorded.
Oh, that's horrible.
It seemed so slow. It was so slow. And then when you look at the back of that Twi'lek's head, it looks like a stripper leaned back with her feet in the air. I mean, it was shot so poorly, and it was just no stakes. It was just, you're just like, this is like two grannies running through the supermarket. I mean, it's legitimately what it was. It wasn't just the way the speeders looked.
See, I think the first 2 episodes are really good, legitimately good in Book of Boba Fett. I think the 3rd and 4th take a tumble because it's only 6 episodes. It's not even 8. It's only 6. I believe.
6. Oh, it's 6
Am I wrong?
episodes.
Is it
Was
6?
it 6 or
Is it
was it
6?
7?
Help people in the chat, help me out here. I'm too zoned in and look on here.
I feel like maybe it was 6. Then I go back to my original point. That means a third of the series was on a character that's not even like, it's not even the title character.
I'm not
Boba
gonna
Fett
dwell on it.
cameoed his own show. Like he literally cameoed his own show.
You have to listen. Oh gosh. All right. All right. People in the chat,
7 episodes.
please.
MB Wilson says 7 episodes. Yeah.
Good. All right. People in the chat, do you think that episode with Mandalorian 2.0, right? Or 2.5, do you think that was a mistake to put that in? Just mistake, whether you hate the series or not the series of Book of Boba Fett. Was it a mistake to put Mandalorian in? From a financial and story standpoint, make that very clear. From a financial and a storyline standpoint, you can't look into it in a vacuum, one or the other. It has to be a both, as we all would if you were in their place of writers and a corporate conglomerate like Disney. Just gonna put it out there. I'm curious. All right, I have 7 here. So yeah, did they make the right decision? I think they did. I think looking back at, I love the episode. I think it was smart to keep people enthralled with Grogu and everything. I don't think. Do I think it was a detriment to the story of itself? Not necessarily. Was it? Because honestly, I'll be honest. If episodes 3 and 4 are good, or 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5 are good, then we probably aren't bitching and moaning.
Mm-hmm.
I think because 3, 4, and 5 are just kind of they're not consistent. It just, you know what I mean? Like, let's be like,
I agree with MB Wilson here. It was odd, not a mistake. I agree with that. It was really weird.
That's fair.
Drop that in there because, like I said, you could have just done the Boba Fett series. I mean, at some point, instead of dropping those episodes, give 2 more like actual Boba Fett episodes. And then before the finale drops, then that's when you drop like the Star Wars special presentation Mando, and then that's when you tell that whole story, because that would have been a mind-blowing like 2-off. Or you could even have combined them into one episode and did a 1-off of Mando going and talking to Ahsoka again and seeing Grogu from a distance, and that whole thing. It didn't fit right with Book of Boba Fett. You know what I mean? It's like, that would be like, so what would be a good crossover? What would be a pretty good crossover? G.I. Joe and Transformers, right? So if you're watching animated Transformers and it's a Transformers series that you're watching, and then all of a sudden 2 episodes pop up and they're G.I. Joe, you're gonna be like, what the heck? Like, I want to watch robots. I don't want to watch G.I. Joe. I want to watch Transformers. Don't get me wrong. You might really like G.I. Joe outside of Transformers, but you're there to watch Transformers, Like, if they'd done that in the middle of a movie, if you went to the movie theater to sit down and watch a movie, and all of a sudden in the middle of it, for like a third of the movie, they show an entirely different movie, and you're like, what the hell? And then they go back to the other movie and start playing it again, and you'd be like, what the hell was that?
But if you, different movie, yes. But the thing is, if intertwined, if you know they're connected in a movie, and you bring, like, you spend a good 10-15 minutes in that movie, bringing this aspect in that will eventually play a part in the own finale, and you already know they're connected. You got reintroduced with it through that thing. I wouldn't be as nuts. It'd be like, oh, it's more only abrupt because it's towards the end of the series.
Yeah, but
at the same
all this time building this team up, and then who took out the Rancor? Grogu. Like, every one of these series, all they're doing is pumping up Grogu. That's what they're doing. It's all about Grogu. Everything, even Book of Boba Fett was about Grogu.
Listen. And you know what? It makes financial sense. I'm not saying it.
I know they did a crossover, and it was weird.
It wasn't that weird.
It was weird. It was
crazy.
jarring.
You're too young. You're too young to get.
You're all.
I'm like, I know I'm older than you, sir. That's why I can say that.
No, I just, like you said, I think it was odd. I don't know if it was a mistake. Of course, now you've got people who didn't bother watching Book of Boba Fett, seeing the trailers for Mando, going, I thought he gave Grogu up. I thought Luke got Grogu. Why are they together in this now? What the hell? And I mean, if you'd have put out a Mandalorian special and then that's when they got back together, people who watched Mandalorian would have watched the Mandalorian special. Then they would have known going into season 3 what had happened there. And now they're going, I have to go watch a whole nother series just to find out what happened. You know, so
yeah, listen, like I think Mr. Wilson here, I think like the point is the best thing said, because I don't befault them. I don't befault them either, right? Like, but I think people get too hung up on it too, to be honest. I'm like, who cares? Like, I get, like, yeah, it'd be cool to have it like here or there, but like I said, they play a part in the finale. It's not they're just putting for. If that was all they did was that one episode, and that was it, they didn't show up, yes, that'd be terrible. But the fact that they play a part to set up season 3, I mean, yeah, you can put it into its own special, but I think it works. I think it works just fine. I like I said, I think if the seasons or episodes 3, 4, and 5 were better, I don't think people are bitching and moaning. Honestly. And to go back to here really quick, I would say the writer's room, I don't know if the writer's room needed help. In my opinion, I think it's more of, I think the director, I think Robert was I'm trying to be a jerk here, because I like Robert Rodriguez. I think he's a great filmmaker, and I think honestly, I mean, legit, I think he's important for the film industry as a whole, because what he's done is he's an independent filmmaker. He does his own thing. I think he is punk as you know what, as we can fill in the blanks. That being said, I don't know him directing a bunch of episodes was a great idea, especially, episode 3. But I still think the last episode was great. He directed. So, I mean, I think there was a combination of, they should have stuck with a different flashback, ditch the flashbacks. That was the biggest mistake in I think the linear would have been better in hindsight. That to me, I don't know if I would say it was they needed help. I just think there were some
weird
choices. Yeah, some weird choices, that I think they'll learn from. So,
that's, as long as they learn from stuff that, and I'm not just saying as long as they learn from what I didn't like. No, as long as they listen to everybody and they take that full feedback kind of into consideration moving forward, then yeah, as long as they're learning stuff from it, then by all means, you know what I mean? But I just save the crossover stuff on these series for the big finale that, we all know that's coming. The whole Thrawn thing. Let's just save all the crossovers for that.
Did you pick this comment for a reason, or did I
you put that up?
Did I put this up? Oh, that was my bad. Okay, my bad. All right. I'm sorry. I didn't want to. I didn't even be rude. I think this is a great. No, you're good. I think it's a good point. I think this is where I think I can understand, and I think it's a valid point. Again, I don't get bent out of shape over it, but I do understand this perspective. If you thought you were like, oh, those, I want this to be part of its own thing. I get that I can respect. So, and yes, crossover comics. Well, they cross over the cartoons too, not just the comic books. They definitely cross over the cartoon. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. I'm almost positive. Let's see what Mandalorian season 3 does, because I think there could. But here's a problem, Mr. Wilson. If they have flashbacks in season, people are gonna riot. Let's be real. Like, if they start having flashbacks, people are like, no
matter what they do, people are gonna riot. So
they didn't riot for season 2. It
might all make sense. Of course, keep this in mind, MB Wilson. Keep this in mind. I said the same thing about the sequel trilogy. Maybe it'll all make sense once the last one comes out. Boy, was I wrong. Hey, you know what I mean? Okay, so I'm just saying.
Stop it. Just stop. Don't bring the sequel trilogy up anymore. You're gonna bum me out. Because I like the sequel trilogy obviously more than you do, which is really crazy to me.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I do. All right, so this has been good. This has been really good conversation, guys. I love this. This has been great. This is exactly what I love doing this for. I will say The only flashbacks that will be accepted. And chat, let me know if this is crazy. I think the Trail of 1,000 Tears, is that what it's called? The 1,000 Tears,
the Night of 1,000
whatever it is.
Tears. Yeah.
Night of 1,000 Tears. If they show flashbacks for that or Luke, that's acceptable. I think a vast majority of people watching this and watching this show would agree to that. If you have flashbacks with Boba Fett, Mando, and Grogu, anyone with Grogu flashbacks, I think that'll be fine too, because people want to know what's going on there. But anyone else, I think people are going to riot. Am I wrong on this? People in the chat, let me know.
Here's a question, though.
All right,
as awesome as it is to see Luke pop up in Mando, Book of Boba Fett, as great as that is, as soul completing as that experience is, right?
Soul completing.
Is it necessary? Because if these shows could stand on their own without those, which we know Mando can, we absolutely know that Mando can, because for most of that series, it's been Mando. That show's phenomenal. And then you get these cool cameos in the end and everybody just loses their minds. But do we need them? Like if a series can stand on its own, if the story can stand on its own, do you need these big AAA names to be coming in to try to make them work? You know what I mean? So like Book of Boba Fett, did you really need Mando to come in? Like I keep saying, like in my opinion, the Mando episodes of Boba Fett were the best episodes of that series. Do you need them to come in? If the series could stand on its own, would you have needed that?
I think it really depends. I mean, you could argue that it doesn't need it, and we don't know. That's the problem. I don't look into it that way, only because I think it's. Listen, I grew up reading comics, right? And I mean, if you guys don't know, I mean, I live and breathe superhero comics. That's just what I've and I love the medium in general, right? I mean, come on, I got the comic binge, guys. Which, by the way, go like, subscribe. We need 1,000 subscribers. Please help me out. Again, subscribe, comic binge, please. Thank you very much. Love you all. Bye. The thing is with comics, superhero stories, and you know this too, Brian, is that there's guest star city to help sell and promote your comics, right? Like Wolverine, Venom, 90s staples. They were in every comic ever in the 90s, right? Ghost Rider. I mean, they were everywhere. Sometimes it was a cash grab. It was obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it wasn't. Sometimes they served a purpose in the story. I think it just depends on the story. If you like the story and they do this, like I do, it didn't really bother me as much. So I feel like, do you need them? Oh, maybe. But the story they wrote, they needed to show that to get to that point. That's the whole reason it exists. Because if they didn't need to put it in there, I don't think they would. But I think honestly, they had to end with Mando and Grogu because they wanted to show that. If that makes sense. So it's a little different. I like it. Do you needed it? That's debatable. I don't know.
Yeah,
because I think Mando and Grogu served a really great purpose in the series. So, and I don't think they're the best episodes of the series necessarily. Because I think the Tusken episode is the best episode.
Here's the thing, though. Here's honestly, this is my honest opinion. When Fennec shows up to Mando and she's hiring him, right, in Book of Boba Fett, hey, he needs your help, and he's like, it's on the house, and he tosses the money back. Grogu, I don't think Grogu had any business being in Book of Boba Fett. That should have been Mando. They should have figured, there should have been a different ending to that instead of Grogu taking down a Rancor. Whatever. But there should have been a different ending.
Amazing, by the way.
And then Mando going to see Ahsoka and Luke and Grogu again should have been the beginning of season 3 of Mando.
How about this? You could be right. You might be wrong.
No, I'm just saying that could have worked. That's all I'm getting.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could, but I mean, you could, and that's the thing when you play with different aspects. You can, there's a lot of things you can make work, right? I mean, that's the thing, and it's coming to terms with, I think, with Book of Boba Fett, and I'm because for me, I want to, at least for me, and I'm just trying to, we're all trying to shove our opinions down everyone's throats in some ways, right? Which, by the way, I think, Mr. Wilson, you bring a great point. I think that. You're right. They aren't necessary, but they will help tie everything together. I think that's, to me, the biggest. Because here's the thing: if we see Boba Fett have a more of a role of a feature in a Mando episode this season, that wouldn't surprise me. Or Ahsoka, or something like that, right? There's going to be a focus shifted heavily towards one character that's not Mando necessarily, because they are building up to something. I wouldn't be surprised. Would I be mad about it? No. But if it's episode's terrible, yeah, I'll be mad about it. So if it's bad, if an episode that takes away from Mando and Grogu is bad, then yes, I will be upset. If it's good, I won't care. If it's good, I don't. You get what I'm saying? It just really depends. And I think Mr. Wilson nails it. It's odd, it's weird, but if it ties everything together better,
yeah.
I think that to me is the key. If it ties everything better together, then it's worth it. And let's be real, I think it has. And you really can't, you couldn't really. I wish this was the case.
I'm going to say it totally depends on what happens in the comics right now. Because right now we're doing the Hidden Empire comic run, and it's basically Vader mowing down Crimson Dawn. Man,
I'm so behind on comics.
So it depends on how that comic story goes. Because right now the comics are between Empire and Jedi.
Yeah.
So it totally depends on how it goes down in the comics. I hope so.
Well, here's the thing too. You got to think about, because I consider myself a very bad storyteller. I do write comic books and things like that I'm trying to get published and everything. So when I say this, I'm trying to be as like from that mindset, which I'm not saying I'm good at all, but just saying from that, I have a storytelling mindset ish, you could say. I will say that I think that if you're going to go that route of Crimson Dawn, it'd be smart to establish a new Crimson Dawn. Like it's like you can start from complete scratch. Like you have to, incorporate necessarily. I think it'd be cooler to do it with a canon, in my opinion. But I would say that you could start that. You don't have to destroy Crimson Dawn completely. If the comics, and I say the comics from like Marvel and DC, that's taught me anything, you don't throw away anything. Nothing dead forever. So you could just bring Crimson Dawn into it.
I'm going to say this. Yes. Yes. Mando and Grogu still took away from Book of Boba Fett, because if you bring
I disagree
Dawn into the story, 1,000%. if you're doing Mando season 3 and you cut away for 3 full episodes with no Mando, no Grogu, and it's just a story about Crimson Dawn, that's going to piss me off. Do that separate.
3 episodes. You know what I mean? Yeah, that would be
that would into it, but don't make
1 episode
about it. Don't make 3 full episodes about it. Don't have Mando standing in the background cameoing in his own series. The same way they did the Boba Fett.
Episode, if it's one episode.
But it wasn't 1 episode with Book of Boba Fett. It was 2.
Yes, it was. It was 1 episode.
It was 2 episodes.
No,
the first episode was Mando fighting with the Darksaber. The next episode was him going to get Grogu. It was 2 full episodes of Book of Boba Fett that went Mando.
Hold on. No, it was 1 because he goes.
Nope.
Hold on. No. He's in one. He's in an episode that he basically shares with Boba Fett.
Nope.
Am I forgetting this wrong?
Yeah, you're getting it wrong. Because the episode where Mando comes back is called The Return of the Mandalorian. That's when he goes to see the armorer. He finds out about the whole Night of 1,000 Tears. He took his helmet off. He's a Mandalorian no more, and he has to go to Mandalore. He's fighting with the Darksaber, and then he meets up with Fennec Shand and says, "Hang on a minute, I got to go do something first." And the next episode was him going to get Grogu. It was 2 full episodes of Book of Boba Fett.
Fair enough. You know what? You know what? I apologize. I thought that was 1 episode. I thought it was 1 episode.
Like that. Come at me like
that.
Yeah,
fair. That's fair.
It's a fight on sight, boy.
That. All right. I took the lumps. I'll take the loss. It's fine. It's fine. But because they honestly bleed together for me. Because I'm like, oh, you're right. That is. I'm like, wait. So
they did. Yeah.
In that case, yeah, I don't know. It's still. Yeah, you're right. I it's been a while since I've rewatched it, so you're right. I would say 1 episode. Like I said, I always forget that it's 2 episodes. So yeah, if Mando was gone 2 episodes, I would say that'd be a bummer. Bummer.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying with Book of Boba Fett. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to see Crimson Dawn. I love seeing Mando.
Hi, Baymax.
But if they did 2 or 3 full episodes of Crimson Dawn in the middle of Mando season 3, I'm tuning in to watch Mando, not Crimson Dawn. If I want to watch Crimson Dawn, do its own thing, and I will watch that. That
being said, if they incorporated a little bit of Mando, see, that's the problem with Book of Boba Fett. he's barely in those 2 episodes. If you
Yeah,
sprinkled
he
a
nods.
little bit of Mando,
He nods. He doesn't even talk. Mando walks.
Okay, okay. I thought. Listen, I gave you. I was defeated.
Here's another question. Is that false advertising? Because if they come out and say you're getting 7
No.
episodes of Book of Boba Fett, and then they squeeze 2 episodes of Mando into the middle of it, and you only
I
get
don't
5
think so.
episodes of Book of Boba Fett,
because Mandalorian plays heavily into the finale, so I don't.
that's
I don't
fine.
think
You
so.
can do that. But if you told that story separate, you only got 5 episodes of Book of Boba Fett. That's all. Just because the title card at the beginning says Book of Boba Fett doesn't make it Book of Boba Fett. That is Mandalorian.
I will 100% disagree with that. I disagree
false.
with that.
False.
It's a book of
I'll
that is a book of, listen, that's a Book of Boba Fett. If you look at you can't look at it isolated. Like, I agree that like it's a little abrupt. I forgot it was 2 episodes. I agree it's abrupt, but you can't look at it as like a separate thing because again, they play together. If it was an isolated thing where it's like, what?
They don't, because the first episode of Mando and Book of Boba Fett is all Mando. He doesn't even link up with Fennec Shand until the last 30 seconds of the episode. It's all about him fighting the guy who owns the Darksaber, who's part of Clan Vizsla, finding out he has to go to Mandalore. They set up season 3. It had nothing to do with Book of Boba Fett. Had zero.
Listen,
and all of that.
Someone who's read,
up.
I disagree because sometimes you have to mix things up in storytelling. Now, again, I'm more in line with, I think it was maybe a mistake now as opposed to when I started this conversation. I forgot 2 episodes. Okay, so bear with me. But that being said, I'm gonna say again, I read superhero comics, and every once in a while they do a thing where the hero's gone. It's more of a focus on a supporting character, and it's completely away from everything. And sometimes it's jarring and it's bad. Sometimes it's not. It just depends on how good the episode is. And because these episodes are so good and they do tie in to the end of the season, they do, whether you like to admit it or not, it's the truth, because they do end up playing a big part of the finale. It is the Book of Boba Fett. Now, was it a mistake? Was it odd?
I'll say this. If Boba Fett had been present during the entire thing with Mando and the Darksaber and all of that crap with the armor and taking his helmet off and then Mando no more, if Boba Fett had been present during that entire thing, and had Boba Fett been present when he went to get Grogu, then yes, I would say this is Book of Boba Fett, but it's not. It is. They are clearly Mandalorian.
Listen, just because I'm gonna go deep on y'all. Just because Doc Samson in the Incredible Hulk ongoing series shows up for like 1 or 2 issues, it's still the Incredible Hulk series. Yes, it still is. Even though Hulk's not in it, yes, that is the case. It's still the Incredible Hulk.
No.
Anyway, yes, it is. It's
no.
you can't. Yes, you can. It's false for you, but in reality, it's still the Book of Boba Fett. Sorry, I love you, Brad. I understand where you're coming from, but it's still Book of Boba Fett. We're wrapping this up. This has been a lot of fun. Like, this was like,
I love episodes like this.
Y'all, I was kind of like, because last time we had this, we had like no one on the show. Like, again, for people who were on the last episode, I really appreciate it. It's kind of a bummer. And you guys just came in droves today. This has been great. Like, I've been really happy with everything. Everyone's like doing great comments, great questions. Like, guys, this is great. This is awesome. I really appreciate it. Let me just read this real quick. Listen, I'm both saying that, but it's all part of the same series. You can't say it's not. It is. If it was a special and tied in, it is though.
So is season 3, episode 1 of Mando tied to Book of Boba Fett?
Sure.
Okay.
They're all connected.
Are they?
They're all telling ones. Well, are they?
Are they?
Obviously they are, because Book of Boba Fett connects with Mando.
You tell me. Are they?
Well, we'll find out. Right? We'll find out.
Sure,
I mean,
sure.
Let's just say this. We'll see where we're at this point. So, everyone, I want to say thank you for showing up. Like, seriously. What's happened? Sean, you okay? Ouch. Who ouch? Who got owned? Tell me. Was it me? That's fine. I can take a loss. I have no idea what you're referring to. I can take a loss. Oh, there's a time jump. Okay,
There is
I
a
see,
time
guys.
jump.
Don't
There is a time
hold
jump.
on.
Yeah.
Don't no spoilers, please. I stay away. I only watched like one trailer.
Hey,
I'm
guess
not one of
what?
those people who wants
Grogu's in
to
it.
stop it. I hate you. I hate you. Anyway, I don't hate you.
That's a spoiler to some people because they didn't watch Book of Boba Fett.
God damn it.
Just saying. I wipe
You're
my hands of
impossible.
it. I wipe my hands of it.
You wipe your hands of ignoring the truth. All right. So listen, everyone. This is gonna be great. Yes, yes. Lords and Hammers. If they made the Tawani family canon in Mandalorian season 3, I will do an entire episode without my shirt.
Ooh, you don't
I will do y'all like. I just want. I don't even care. Like I'll do it with my boxers. I don't even care. I will be. Listen, it'll be incredible if that happens. And I mean this 1000% sincerity. And this is not me being ironic, being funny and stupid. Well, it's me being stupid, because I'm always stupid. But the Ewok films, especially Battle for Endor, are legit, and I will fight anyone. I will argue. You will not win. I'm gonna tell you right now, Battle for Endor is quality Star Wars. Y'all heard me. I said what I said.
Those movies made the F-bomb canon back in the day. There's an F-bomb in Ewoks. Go back and rewatch it. Go back and rewatch it. You'll find it. Yep. You'll hear it. You'll hear it. Now that you're looking for it, you'll hear it. I promise. It's in there.
No, he does. Wait, it's Noah. It's Noah when he's turning on the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think my wife and I were talking about that actually once. Did he swear?
Yeah, there's an F-bomb in there. Yep.
Dude, yes. I agree, y'all.
Yeah, as long as we don't get 2 full Hondo and Naka episodes. As long as it's not 2 episodes of Hondo and Naka, give him his own series. He deserves it.
Anyway, so we took by Brian. I'm just kidding, Brian. I couldn't do that to you. Oh, Lord Hammers, see, you're an OG like me, man. When I saw the Blurks show up both in Mando and the Clone Wars, I lost my damn mind, because I'm like, someone finally acknowledges the Endor films. They're great. Don't even start with me. Don't even start with me, sir. Mr. Wilson. Yeah, this is a fun time, guys. This has been a fun time. Everyone, please, Baymax. Dude, I can't tell you, Baymax. Let me know if you did this like me when I was a kid. I did this. I put my window and I was like, just like that, just like Wicket. Everyone, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. Brian appreciates it. Again, we're gonna try to do this every Monday and see how that works. Fridays just we're gonna work for me. It's just too crazy in my life. But Mondays we're gonna try it, but we're gonna start, if this makes any sense, next Monday with every week. So I may be on, maybe not. We'll see how my schedule lines up. Either way, Brian will be here for sure, and I will try to make it. No promises, but if I can't, be nice to Brian and don't let him badmouth Rise of Skywalker and talk about Mandalorian. Don't be. This is supposed to be a positive.
We won't talk about him when he's not here, guys.
Don't you think that's fair? I want you all, and this is for real, y'all. I want you all to give me this right now. Don't you all think this was a therapeutic, like this is a good exercise of 2 people disagreeing, having good open conversation, everyone giving their opinions without people jumping down each other's throats? I
had fun.
You know?
Okay. After it froze up for a second.
Sorry. Yeah. Thank you, baby. Yeah. Thank you. They gave us the blurks. Give us blurks. But I think this was a good way of people. We can disagree, have good conversation, getting upset, and moving on from everything. So, Brian, where can people find you and your content at?
You guys can find me here on the live streams for Star Wars Newsnet. You can also find me on Newsnet Weekly. Once a week, I hop on and we talk about all the biggest stories out of Newsnet. StarWarsNewsNet.com. And then you guys can find me on my show, the Star Wars Canon Podcast. My co-host and I sit down and talk about upcoming canon, new canon, what we're reading right now, some Star Wars news, take some mailbag questions. It's always a lot of fun. You guys can catch us on Saturday nights on wherever you listen to your podcasts. And then usually Sundays is when I knock out the video version and get it up on YouTube. So head over to Star Wars Canon Podcast on YouTube. Give it a like and a follow, and see if you can find that podcast on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, wherever you guys listen to them.
Awesome. Yes. Yeah. Seriously, go support his stuff. It's, that was yeah. Thank you, B Skywalker. You were awesome, man. Like, thank you for everyone saying stuff. Jerry Springer for nerds. This is Mr. Wilson. This is not Jerry Springer for nerds. Just for the record, and this is not a therapy session. This is just an open conversation of people just talking and like just being able to agree, disagree, but hear and understand the other side. You don't have to agree with the other side, but just understand the perspective of the other side. That's all we're trying to do. You can find me on Twitter at Herman22 with 2 N's, aka P Thug, as you see right there. There we go, right there. And you can also find my YouTube channel, The Comic Binge, which I subliminally put into earlier because I'm trying desperately to get 1,000 subscribers. I'm almost there. I'm at 867. And if you all can do me a solid, go head over there, hit subscribe. You guys can don't have to watch my videos, just to subscribe. But I love you to watch my videos. But basically, if you're wondering what The Comic Binge is, The Comic Binge is there. Or if you want to learn about comic books as far as finding people to read comics with and learn about comics, because our videos are basically talking about the comics we're reading, but not spoiling a lot, so you can read it before or afterwards. And we're trying to give people this stuff to read and have fun. There's all kinds of stuff: Spider-Man, Superman, Batman stuff, all centered indie comic books, artsy comics. My wife was on recently, Brian, and she told me all the artsy comics she reads, and it was crazy. And some of them are good. Yep. Some look really bad and I'll never read. That's fine. That's for her. But that's the point. Like, I'm trying to, the medium's amazing. Out tomorrow, we are doing a live stream for reviewing, and we're going to be reviewing this right here, 52. If you guys aren't familiar with this DC Comics 52 series, it's, spoiler alert, it's really good. It's really good. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about issues 113 and 52 total. So we're doing volume 1 of the trade, and if you guys want to know what this is coming from, it's right after Infinite Crisis, which we just binged on the episodes of on the channel, so you can check those out. But yeah, tomorrow we're going to be talking about DC Comics 52. If y'all like to,
are there a couple of Mandalorian issues in the middle of that series?
God, I hate you so much. God, I hate you. But no, there's not. But you know what? It would fit narratively because it's an anthology comic series, sir. So anyway, go. Yeah. Tomorrow is going to be 7:30 p.m. PS time or PST at Pacific Standard Time. Go check us out. Go subscribe, like some videos. I really appreciate it. And yes, go to the Cantina and go. That's obviously the message board. I used to be on the message board, not as much these days because I am very busy. But yeah, that's how I know Viral, who runs the site, and I did Rebels reviews episodes. If you guys didn't know who that was initially, the first season and a half, I think, or something. Yeah, that was me. And they probably had a lot of misspellings and bad grammar, and I apologize, but not really. So anyway, yeah, this is great. So we're going to, again, starting next week, we will do every other week, Monday, for now, and see how that works. I may or may not be here. Brian will be here for sure. But either way, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a great night, y'all. And Brian, why don't you take us out here, my friend?
Hey, guys. Till next week. May the Force be with y'all.
Fun. Mandalorian. Bye-bye.